Hey everyone, welcome to My Wife the Dietitian, a weekly podcast about lifestyle and healthy eating. I'm Rob, and together with my wife Sandra, we invite you to join us on this informative yet entertaining journey through the complex world of healthy eating.
We'll cover everything but the kitchen sink. Each week we'll discuss topics ranging from how to protect yourself from developing cancer, spicy foods to rev up the libido, to caring for your palliative grandfather with Alzheimer's.
We'll also delve into more complex issues like, what the heck is oat milk? Why doesn't my butt fit into these jeans? And every guy's favorite question, will eating spinach really make it bigger? Join us each week as we strive to educate, enlighten, and entertain you. We've all heard about the benefits of adding more nuts and seeds to our diet, and for many people, nuts are the go-to and seeds are overlooked. There are many benefits to including a variety of seeds in your diet. Practical benefits like cost, as well as a plethora of nutritional benefits. Seeds aren't just for birds, and on today's show we'll be discussing a variety of different seeds. Some that you've probably been eating your whole life, like pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds, and some that you may be a little less familiar with, like hemp and chia seeds. Stay with us and learn all about these tiny nuggets of goodness.
Hi, Rob.
Hello, Sandra.
Today I think we should plant the seed for our listeners.
And what seed would that be?
Well, we're going to talk all about seeds.
Well, I kind of figured.
It's the overlooked poor cousin of nuts and actually richer in many ways.
Richer than it's the poor cousin, but it's richer.
Well, people keep talking about ways to stretch the food dollar with the cost of food going up, up, and up. And I think people overlook seeds, which is like they're always lumped together in lists of nutrition foods, nuts and seeds. It's always nuts and seeds, and people always think almonds, or, they always talk about
the nuts, which are very expensive.
Yeah, and they tend to be very expensive. Yeah, and seeds tend to be more...
Well, not expensive. You feed them to birds. You buy giant bags of them and you give them to birds, so they can't be that expensive.
Good point. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, that's...
Well, it's kind of what I think of when I think of seeds. I don't think of seeds as food. I think of it as like something you give to birds. But
really? Okay.
I eat a lot of seeds now just because I know better. And they're definitely packed full of nutrients, but you don't think that something that small would be that beneficial to your health because it's so small. You got to eat like bucket loads of it.
But you think of what is a seed? It's like the genetic material for the plant.
True. So
it's got all of that, it's rich in nutrients, and it's a powerhouse of nutrition because it's got everything the future plant needs.
Yeah, and the future me.
That's
everything
right.
Future Rob needs is in that little seed.
Exactly. You're funny.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Well, we're going to actually discuss 6 seeds focusing on flax and the newer kids on the block, chia and hemp, and then sprinkle in some sesame, sunflower, and pumpkin seeds in the discussion.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're going to cover the topics, the health benefits of seeds, the nutrient profile of each individual seeds, and how to incorporate them into your family's diet and your own diet.
Yeah, that's probably what most people will want to know.
Yeah.
How the heck do I eat these?
Well, how do you eat yours? And what do you eat?
I eat flaxseed, chia, hemp. I eat all of those that are on there because I think my wife knows. She knows a thing or two about seeds. So,
but I mean, you make your own food a lot of the time. So,
but like we always say, if it's in the cupboard, then you're more likely to eat it. So the fact that it's actually in our house, because I don't know that I would think to buy it if I didn't know about it.
Right.
It's not on everyone's grocery list.
Radar. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but it should be. I think it should be, definitely.
And it will be after today's episode.
Yeah, and I think in one of the episodes, the fats, grease, and oil episode 23.
A previous episode.
Yeah. Anyways, we talked about flaxseed because the flaxseed oil in the flaxseed. And we talked about how economical flax seeds are, like ground or whole flaxseed. We think you should buy whole flax seeds and grind them yourself, but we'll talk all about that. But it is like one of the most economical foods, like health foods. Really, it is a health food, but I think some people think health food, I have to go to the health food store. Not necessarily. You can get them in the grocery store.
For sure. Yeah. All right. So should we just dive right in here?
Yeah, for sure. So talking about the health benefits of seeds, why do you think you are starting to eat more of them despite the fact that they're in the cupboard? What is the health benefits?
Well, my understanding, according to everything I've heard on this podcast, is omega-3.
Okay. Oh, for sure.
Which
yes.
is a fat that you need.
Huge.
And
yep.
they're a big source of omega-3s.
Well, so the flax, chia, and hemp are. The sunflower, pumpkin, and sesame are actually a good source of omega-6.
Okay.
And those, I'm glad you said it, because that is a huge reason, because the only other way to get omega-3 in the diet is
fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
exactly.
What if you don't like fish? Or if you're vegan and don't eat fish?
Exactly.
So yeah, flax to the rescue.
And chia and hemp. Yeah, absolutely. But the other seeds like sunflower, pumpkin, and sesame, they are a rich source of omega-6. And kind of in the past, I think people have talked about omega-6, the balance is off. And it's mostly because of the ultra-processed foods and foods made with seed oils. So like the soy oil and the canola oil and sunflower oil and all those corn oil. So those have a lot of omega-6, but if you're getting your omega-6s in whole plant foods, like in sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds.
Things that haven't been processed.
Exactly.
Is that what you mean? It loses its omega-3 in the processing?
No, sorry. Those sunflower seeds, and those are actually higher in omega-6. And they're a good way to get your omega-6.
Oh, I gotcha.
And then if you eat the other types of omega-3 rich seeds like the chia and hemp and flax, then that helps with the ratio.
Gotcha. So it's good to eat a balance of both.
And part of why I wanted to say that, to clarify, is just because pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds are high in omega-6, I don't think you should stop eating them, because they're a really good source of other benefits too. And it's a good way to get your omega-6 is the whole plant food, if that makes sense.
It kind of makes sense, yeah. I'm sure once I listen back, it will make more sense.
Okay. Okay, what else? There's something you said in the kitchen today when I asked what you thought the seeds are good for.
What's for lunch?
No.
What did I say in the kitchen? Gosh, that could have been anything.
Okay. It was about makes you poop.
Oh, like the fiber element of the seeds.
Well,
of course.
Think of birds who eat bird seed.
Oh, yeah. No,
then,
if you'd asked me what else is our seeds good for, then I would have had that answer. Anyway, seeds are an excellent source of fiber.
Yes, yeah, and we did all about fiber in episode 17. So listen back to that, and you'll hear more about seeds and nuts and other types of fiber. So definitely a good reason to have seeds is that fiber. And also this fiber that the seeds have can help reduce your cholesterol levels in the blood. It can help reduce your blood pressure and your blood sugar levels, so that if you have diabetes or prediabetes or metabolic syndrome or something, where you're predisposed to diabetes, then having seeds will actually help with the blood sugar rise and help stabilize your energy through the day and help with your whole profile, like your blood chemistry profile.
Sounds like they're pretty powerful little nuggets.
They are. Well, we mentioned them too on eye health. So episode 10, I believe that was, and skin health last week, episode 31 or 32.
They come up every week, I think.
Yeah.
They seem to.
Under the category of nuts and seeds.
Yeah, nuts and seeds.
That's right. So, and then people say, oh, it's, almonds are so expensive, or cashews are so, unachievable kind of thing, because nuts are getting really to be expensive. So focus on seeds, like buy some seeds and use those throughout the week.
Are you getting similar nutrients
That's
from
a good
seeds
question.
as you would from nuts?
That's a very good question.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, and it's good to have both if you can, but definitely if you're trying to budget and you're just saying, I can't even afford the almonds, buy the seeds, buy the flax seeds and grind them, buy the chia or hemp seeds, and then that will help with the budget and with your nutritional health.
I was going to say that nuts, I thought had more protein, but thinking about it now, there's quite a bit of protein in some of these seeds as well.
Yeah. Actually,
which is surprising because
pumpkin seeds are loaded with protein.
And hemp hearts too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing, we're going to get into the details of hemp and flax and chia, and hemp is actually complete protein. So remember we talked about last week about animal proteins are complete because they have all of the essential amino acids our body needs. Well, so does hemp, actually. Hemp hearts or hemp seeds have that whole profile of all the amino acids we need.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a pretty amazing food. So is chia and flax. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So the other thing with the health benefits, helps with heart, preventing heart disease.
Right.
And we talked about improving the blood sugar, also reduces risk of some cancers possibly, especially, we're going to get more into detail about the flax and the lignans that the flax seed have with hormone-related cancers. But yeah, just getting more fiber in your diet will help with a variety of different types of cancers like colorectal cancer.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. And remember we talked about the anti-inflammatory foods and diet?
Yeah.
Well, seeds are a real big part of that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're like an anti-inflammatory food.
Nice.
And they're, amazing. So, having seeds in your life and in your, day to day, at breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, don't have to have seeds every meal and snack. But if you start to incorporate more seeds more often, it can help with better energy, feeling actually smarter and sharper in your brain because of the omega-3s are so helpful, and better sex because of better circulation.
Who doesn't want better sex?
And because the mood is better and your self-image of, how you're feeling, that can all be, all connected. So
that's why there's all the seeds in the cupboard.
That's
I'm on to you.
You're funny. You go shopping too.
Mm-hmm.
I think you buy them mostly.
I just get what's on the list.
That's not true. You make your own list.
Anywho.
Yes. So a big thing with the, I think we mentioned it, the polyunsaturated fats. So it's a very rich source of those really important essential fatty acids, the polyunsaturated fats.
Polys. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I know we covered that in the fats, oil, and grease, but I just wanted to.
It's good to drive it home.
Yeah.
You're not all going to get it the first time through. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that our body cannot make those polyunsaturated fats. So we need to include them in our diet. And so these six seeds would be a good way to get those polyunsaturated fats.
Perfect.
Okay, so flax we talked a lot about in the previous episode I mentioned. It is the most abundant source of lignans in any plant food, and that can help. We're looking at how it mimics estrogen.
Lignans do?
The lignans,
okay.
Yeah. So it's got this almost anti-cancer effect because what it can do is it removes the estrogen from the blood and takes it to the liver. So it helps to reduce the risk of breast cancer. It could help with prostate cancer, possibly. They're still, looking at the evidence and research, but it's looking promising. And it's ground flaxseed is probably the best way to use the flax.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just something that you're not going to sit and eat a bowl of any of this by itself. It's something that you add to food, whether it's on your cereal or mixing it in with yogurt or even a soup. there's not a lot of flavor to some of them, so it's kind of like adding spices to food. Think of it that way.
Yeah,
Without
I don't know
so
about
much
soup.
Well, yeah, probably not soup.
Yeah, I
but
think the salads and the
salads for sure.
you know, yogurt, smoothies, puddings like chia puddings. You can make energy balls. We'll talk about that at the end about how to get the seeds in your diet.
Yeah.
But
I'm just trying to explain how it's something that you're adding, like how you would add it to food, so people can picture that as we're discussing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you remember why we should grind it? The flax?
I can't explain it well enough.
Okay.
So.
So the seed has this very protective coating.
Right.
Mother Nature made it that way because the oil is highly unsaturated and can degrade and go bad and rancid with what?
With heat, air, and sunlight.
And
light.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not sunlight, just light.
Yeah, light, air, or light, oxygen, and heat.
So the shell is meant to protect it?
Exactly.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
So that you can leave flax seeds out?
Yes, that are whole.
But not the ground. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
So once you grind it, you are breaking apart that protective coating. It's the oil, like the fatty acids are exposed to all those elements that could break it down. So storage of the flax seeds, ground flax seeds, is really important, and to use them soon after you've ground them.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Cool. All right. The other thing is it is a prebiotic, actually. Flax, it has the, it's a fiber, and it stimulates the good bacteria in the gut.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Have we talked about that before?
We've talked about that, but I don't know if we've mentioned that flax was that.
Yeah, that sounds new to me. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's another really good benefit of flax. And remember, it's a timeless seed. It's been around for centuries.
Really?
Hippocrates used it as a medicine for his patients.
Yeah. Flax. All right, are we ready to talk about chia now?
Yeah, chia is the next one. Let's talk about that. And it's a distant relation to the chia pets.
I was just going to ask that. I didn't know if we were going to go there, but it is, hey? Because they kind of grow, right? Is that what it is? The seeds? Chia seeds?
Yeah, and actually you can use
that's
all of these seeds to sprout and make microgreens. So that's another
chia pets.
Yeah, it's another way to use the seeds in a like way that's very nutritious, like a way to grow your own food and to eat the microgreens. If you do it in a way it's not like moldy or
under your kid's bed or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I don't think they would naturally just sprout if there was a seed just fallen.
Well, things sprout under beds.
Okay.
Oh, believe me. Yeah.
Oh, believe me. Okay. Gross.
Right? I know.
Oh, so the chia, it's interesting. We have this book. It's called The Aztec Diet: The Power of Chia, the superfood that gets you skinny and keeps you healthy, by Dr. Bob Arnott. And it's interesting. I'm glad I think I picked it up at one of those little libraries. But it's a cool kind of very comprehensive look at chia and where it came from. And we've been using chia seeds for years, eh?
Since the beginning of time.
Well, they are the Aztecs. So they actually, it's a Mayan word for strength, chia.
Really?
Yeah.
Chia.
And it's like the strength of the seed. It's like very powerful. It's, again, really like a powerhouse of nutrition.
Packed into a tiny little black seed that likes to get lodged in your teeth. It's called the chia smile. It's worse than the spinach smile.
You're funny, Rob.
That's so true. That's the only thing I don't like about chia is it's so small. It just gets lodged in all the little crevices in your teeth.
You can grind them.
Gums and
you can grind them.
You can, I suppose.
Maybe it's a better way to use them. If they're getting lodged in your teeth, that tells me that it's probably not. It hasn't broken down enough for your gut to actually work on it and get the nutrition out of it.
That's true. So it's giving me a message.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is a really good source of fiber, and again, the omega-3s that are locked in, behind that protective coating. So grinding them would help you help access those omega-3s and the really important fats.
And once again, this is something that you would sprinkle on your food. Not a lot of flavor to it that I like in the seed form. I don't find there's much flavor. So you can easily add it to a salad or your breakfast cereal or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. And actually you can make chia pudding. So you'd put some chia seeds in a mason jar and then add some oat milk or regular milk or yogurt and then let it sit at least 10 minutes. But overnight would even be better. And if you grind them, then that's even better because you're getting the benefits of what's inside of the shell.
And the wetting it, how you just described with water or yogurt or whatever, it helps it expand. Is that what it's doing to make it into like a gel?
Yeah, it's
almost?
Like the little tapioca almost. Like the kind of texture is similar to tapioca pudding, like the little tiny, little balls.
Yeah,
and
like little gel like balls, I guess.
Yeah. Actually, remember we talked about fiber in one of our episodes back at like early. I can't remember which one, but it's we talked all about the insoluble and soluble fiber, and all these seeds have both because when you grind them, the insoluble part is like the protective coating, and then the soluble is where it gels, it expands with fluid, and it makes it like sponge. It's like a sponge where it takes in all the water.
Right.
So in the body, it's really good for cholesterol and blood sugars and.
Cool.
Yeah, and also with chia, it's a rich source of calcium, like really high.
Really?
Yeah.
Calcium.
Almost the same as a cup of milk in 3 tablespoons.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, 3 tablespoons of chia. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a traditional food in the Aztec world. And
I wonder how they ate it.
Yeah.
If they just added it to everything, or if they would be making like the pudding or something like that with it.
Well, it was interesting looking at this because I guess the Aztec way of eating, it's kind of like one of their ways is like our Thanksgiving turkey dinner.
But with chia?
No, it's got like the turkey and cornbread stuffing, squash, sweet potato, pumpkin pie, and they do use chia as their grain.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then avocado and tomato and beans and chocolate. So it's really high in vegetables and fruits and low in red meats.
So that's a traditional meal.
Yeah, traditional type of Aztec meal. And in this diet book, it's interesting because one of the ideas is having chia smoothies 3 times a day to help lose weight, improve blood sugar control, help you have a better bowel movement, all those things. And I think it works. Like the people that did it, it's working for them. But how sustainable in terms of doing that, having 3 chia smoothies a day?
Yeah, it's like a lot of diets. It's like not something that you're going to want to do for a very long time. And like you said, you're probably going to never want to see chia again in your life.
That's right.
You're drinking it 3 times a day for however long the diet part is supposed to last.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, but it's a really interesting book, and it's got a lot of great background and evidence, and to suggest that chia is like a superfood and really wonderful. Definitely organic. In all of these, it's better to get the organic flax, the organic chia, hemp, and sunflower, pumpkin, and sesame, but always get the organic. Yeah. And the flaxseed we have, it's really inexpensive. Like looking at that bag, that was like
$4
maybe.
Yeah,
$3.99 I think for 500 grams. So a fair, that'll last a month probably. That flaxseed. The chia could be a little bit more expensive. Like 300 grams is about $7.99 in our local area in Canada. And I think the hemp is similar, about $7.99 for about 300 grams.
Yeah, and I found the big bag. Well, anything is going to be cheaper in bigger quantities.
And then we should store it in the fridge.
Yeah, which we don't.
It's a seed, right? Because it breaks down. I think if we had, once you grind it, you should store it in the fridge if you're not going to use it quickly. But definitely the seeds and nuts should be stored in the fridge. We do have to get a bigger fridge, though.
Yeah, or less food.
Yeah.
Less teenagers.
Teenagers, right. Yeah. So the other thing with any of these is making sure that you have more fluid. So you got to drink more water because of the action of the fiber. So you'll get constipated if you're not drinking enough water, if you're starting to add more seeds and more fiber to your diet. So it's really important to have the water to help soften your stool and to keep things moving. So that's really important to just, if you are going to start increasing your amount of fiber-rich foods, plant foods, and seeds, then definitely to make sure you're getting more fluid.
I thought fiber was supposed to make you more like loosen things up. Or is that only if you're drinking enough water?
Well, it's the difference between soluble and insoluble, and the insoluble kind of stimulates the bowel. But
I know we've talked about that before. It sounds like we're repeating ourselves.
Yeah. So let's talk about hemp seeds, or hemp hearts as they're called. And that's another kind of new kid on the block in terms of in the grocery stores, more widely available than they used to be.
Mm-hmm. Like I think I always thought of them as kind of like fancy health food store things. They weren't mainstream, but I think they're becoming more mainstream now.
Absolutely. I think you're right. I think like 10 years ago, chia, we wouldn't even have had chia, and hemp either. I don't think we really ate too much hemp hearts.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. So, and I mentioned how hemp is a complete protein. So it's got all the amino acids, and it's really rich in the omega-3 again, and has some fiber, no sugar. So there's 10 grams of protein in 3 tablespoons of hemp seeds. Do you like hemp better than
what?
chia?
I do.
For the taste, or just the way you use it, or how?
It doesn't get stuck in my teeth. Yeah.
Because you can actually bite down on it.
Yeah. I don't, to be honest, I don't really notice, like, it's not like I have a tablespoon, like just a mouthful of either. I mix it in with everything. So I can't really tell.
I find that hemp has a nuttier flavor and kind of, it's like crispy, not crispy, but like a nutty texture.
Yeah, I guess you're right. As far as the little bit of flavor that I do taste, I think I do prefer hemp, but I don't dislike chia.
Mm-hmm. I think on a salad too, sprinkling hemp seeds or in a grain bowl, that's another way to use all of these. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that would be good. And hemp is actually amazing as a plant because you can pretty much use the whole plant for like different industrial uses. And obviously, what do you think of when I say hemp?
Well, cannabis, marijuana. I mean, that's where hemp comes from, right? Is the cannabis plant, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. So there's no THC, or you don't get a buzz from, or high or anything from eating hemp hearts or hemp seeds. It's the seed of the plant, and I think it's the leaf that they use for smoking.
That's what contains the THC.
Yeah, exactly.
We might be wrong on that, but the hemp doesn't have THC in it.
That's right. Yeah. The one that you eat, exactly. And now it's becoming more widely available. I think, it's been grown in Canada for years, and I know in the States it started to become legal to grow in around 2018. And so some states it's legal. I don't know if it's legal everywhere. I know like Alaska, Washington, Oregon, California all can grow hemp. And as I said, it's used in a variety of, hemp rope and like different things. And it actually uses less land and water. It's very environmentally sustainable, mm-hmm. and it helps keep the soil fertile. And it actually can, they use it as a cover crop between the wheat and soy growing season. So they use the hemp and then it actually has this bioremediation factor, like this element. So it helps to clean up the toxins in the soil, similar to how mushrooms and seaweed can do that too.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So it's an amazing plant, sustainable, and it's, it's something that now we're seeing more in different forms. Like you can get protein powder that's made with hemp, or yogurt, or
hemp milk.
Hemp milk that we talked about. That's right. Or flour, hemp flour for people that are gluten intolerant and they can't have wheat flour. That's another option, is the hemp flour.
Right.
So it's pretty amazing. And as I mentioned, like you can put it in smoothies, and you can make pesto with it, or put it in granola, or in your oats, or overnight oats, or salads. So it's got a variety of uses.
I think you wanted to mention too that you don't want to heat any of these because they'll break down, right?
Exactly.
That wasn't just the flax seeds that we talked about. It's all of these
Yeah, because they all have those sensitive omega-3 essential fatty acids.
Right. So if you're going to use them, add them. Like I'll heat my oatmeal in the morning, so I would want to add those seeds after I've heated it.
Yeah.
Not nuke the seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did mention how it helps with cholesterol levels. Well, hemp has a plant sterol. It's like a phytochemical or a phytofat, because the fat in it has this antioxidant effect. Like it helps to mop up free radicals, but it also helps with the fiber in it helps with cholesterol levels. So it's a plant sterol, sterol, which is a good thing in your system.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for spelling that, because I was thinking the other sterile.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So the last three, the sunflower, pumpkin, and sesame, are all good and different in their own ways. Like sunflower seeds have a good amount of fiber. They have some protein. So a third of a cup is about 10 grams of protein. And they're really a good source of iron.
Yeah, iron. That's something that you need, right?
Yeah, and how do you eat sunflower seeds?
Well, usually they're in trail mix. I'll add them to my breakfast or my salad because I like the crunch. I like, it adds a bit of texture, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, trail mix is pretty common for sunflower and pumpkin seeds. It's
a great snack. I think that's one of a really good snack to always have in the cupboard is trail mix, because it can be, instead of a granola bar that's like overly processed kind of chocolate bar type thing, trail mix is awesome because you got the nuts, the seeds, the dried fruit.
Yeah. I usually keep a bag of it in my car just because it's an easy go-to that, it's easy to eat.
Yeah. Yeah. And kids usually like it. I mean,
I don't let anyone else eat it. It's mine hiding.
Right.
So if I let anyone else have it, I wouldn't have it when I needed it. So
right. I think mine had a hidden stash. I had some with chocolate chips, and then they were just a big mass because it got too hot and they melted.
The kids will just eat the chocolate chips and leave you just like all the boring stuff.
It's not boring.
Well, no, but
it's bird food, right?
Yeah, bird food. They'll leave you the bird seed.
Pumpkin seeds are amazing too.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. What do you do with pumpkin seeds?
I like to juggle them. What do you mean? What do I do with them?
How do you eat them?
Well, the same as I eat all of these things.
Okay.
I just I put all of this stuff together. I just go one bag after the other into my oatmeal, on my salad.
Wow. Yes. You must be Superman. You must have so much.
I have so many seeds coursing through me at all times. Look awesome. Out.
Well, I'm talking about the omega-3 part, that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could get a cape and a big O on my chest for omega-3 man.
You're funny.
An O3.
An O3.
Yeah.
O2 is oxygen. So pumpkins are high in zinc, like a really important mineral.
Like the actual pumpkin.
The pumpkin seed.
Oh, pumpkin seeds are high in zinc.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And, it's, we're getting to be, in a couple of months, it'll be Halloween and we'll have pumpkins, and then we can get the seeds of the pumpkin and dry them and roast them. And
yeah, that's fun.
So yummy
too. They're really tasty. They seem bigger than what you buy at the store. Maybe. I don't know.
Huh. Not these ones.
Well, maybe not. Yeah, I guess you're not. Yeah. I guess you're right.
We have we have all the 6 seeds out in front of us. So the last ones are sesame, and the sesame seeds, they're tiny like the chia, but they're white.
Really small.
Yeah. And you can get them roasted. But again, they have the omega-6 fatty acids, and you can make tahini, which is the seed butter from sesame seeds, or you might have sesame seed oil, and that'd be good in stir fries or like roasting vegetables in the oven. So it's got that Asian flair.
Tons of flavor.
Yeah, tons of flavor.
Like just a little drop of sesame oil, and it's like, oh my God, it's so tasty.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's another. So yeah, I think the variety is the spice of life, and that's the key to all the seeds. I also want to mention that seeds are a great source of vitamin E, which is a fat-soluble vitamin that's an antioxidant and protects our cells from free radicals breakdown.
Okay.
And it's, like the sunflower seeds, the pumpkin seeds are great food sources. We don't really want to take supplements of vitamin E, it's the food sources of vitamin E that you want to include.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that in the immunity episode early on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
we've talked quite a bit about that. So yeah, these are a good source of vitamin E then. Is that that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Another little hack for trying to improve your intake of seeds is you can actually put like sunflower seeds or pumpkin seeds into your peanut butter, and it's like crunchy peanut butter, or grinding them. You can put a whole bunch into a whole jar of peanut butter and just stir it around, and then you can add that to your bread or different things you'd use peanut butter for. Talk.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. So steps that you can take to incorporate more seeds in your diet. I think we've talked throughout this about how we eat them, but would love to hear from people, listeners, to hear how you eat your seeds, different flaxseed, chia, hemp seeds, or sunflower, pumpkin, and sesame seeds. How do you incorporate them in your day?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's some neat ideas out there.
Yeah, absolutely. One last thing. So a good way to make sure that you're eating your seeds more often, eating breakfast is a great way to get the seeds in the diet. So there has been some studies that show that people that eat breakfast are less likely to be overweight. They tend to have more fiber in their diet and have less cravings throughout the day, and with less binging behavior. So it's another, I mentioned the breakfast, having smoothies or chia pudding, or the oats like you have loaded with the seeds, or granola, or the overnight oats. Those are all good breakfast, like ways to start your day that have like a good amount of fiber and omega-3s and just, delicious. So lunch, you can have salads and then add some seeds on top of the salad, or grain bowl in your dinner, having that grain bowl, like a Buddha bowl that has like the chickpeas, and then, definitely either sesame seeds or other types of seeds on top. And
that's usually with some kind of, a grain, right? Like rice or couscous or something with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Absolutely.
Into it.
Yeah. So delicious. Yeah. And then, definitely with the, you mentioned trail mix. So trail mix is a good snack, or energy balls you can make, and you're not cooking the seeds, but you're taking peanut butter and honey, chocolate chips and oats, and ground flaxseed or hemp hearts, and not ground, but the regular hemp hearts. And you just make little balls out of those ingredients, and you have a really good alternative to granola bars, or, other kind of convenient, ultra processed different snack foods.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. And just one last thing is, 1 to 3 tablespoons a day of seeds is probably a good thing to aim for if you can. Probably not more than 5 tablespoons a day. So there is a way to get too much, especially if you're not used to it, because it'll take time to adjust to the fiber.
Right. Because it'll wreak havoc in your gut if you're not used to it.
Well, you might get bloating and, gas and distension, and just feeling kind of, bloated.
Distended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, if you are used to having fiber and plant foods, then adding a little bit more seeds is probably going to be fine. No problem with that. And, enjoy the seeds.
Enjoy those seeds. All right. Do you think we planted the seed?
I hope so.
Yeah. I guess,
buy more seeds.
I guess we'll just see what happens. See if it grows.
All right.
We'll hear back from everyone, hopefully, at some point in time, and you can tell us how you're doing with your seeds.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, Sandra. We'll see everyone next week. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.